Take a drink. Hello, everybody that's not here yet. Welcome back to Lore Souls, where we talk about stupid things in Dark Souls 1. Because I like stupid things in Dark Souls 1! And we play through the game casually. Hi, Laurentius.
Oh, hello there.
How you doing?
I'm pleased to see you safe. As always, if you provide the materials, I can teach you pyromancy. A pyromancer's flame is a part of his own.
Got nothing else to say for now. By the way, where do I shove this? I just shove it in my butt when I put it away. Big dumb weapons like this don't work too well for the purpose of immersion in Dark Souls, because stuff like that. Alright, what the hell did we do last time? As I recall, we saved Rhea of Thorland from the horrors of the Tomb of the Giants down below, and we killed Petrus of Thorland because he's a douche and was going to kill Rhea if we didn't kill him. And then I went to Darkroot Garden and died. Yeah, that sounds about right. Since then, I've done a tiny bit of off-camera farming. Just a little bit. Because we've got some transactions to make today. As you can see, I got the Boulder Helm to drop. It's unfortunate, because I really wanted to get the Boulder Swag Sword, but unfortunately, all I got was the helm, so, you know, I'll have to farm again later. But helm worn by the Knights of the Ancient Kingdom of Boulder. It's made of thick iron plates, and once again, it's going to talk about Night King Rendell, who we'll only ever hear about in item descriptions for the lore. We're never going to meet the guy, unfortunately. Hey, TikTok, when did you miss all that? Couple days ago. It is highlighted, and I will be placing it onto the YouTubes. Let's see. Ow. A little less responsive than usual. Oh, cool. What did he drop? Another helm and a Titanite shard. These guys drop Titanite shards, which is pretty nifty. So, today, well, first things first, I'm going to finish our excursion through Darkroot Garden, because there's a reason we were going that way. And, we got a couple other destinations to hit, but I kind of want to go set this as our mainstay bonfire. And something I didn't show off that I really like about this game. Something I really like about this game is that once you have the weapon toolbox, you can reinforce your weapon yourself at the bonfire. And your weapon could be any weapon. It could even be multiple weapons. And seeing as I'm currently in love with the scythe, we're going to go ahead and make it a +4. And here, let's make it a +5. And bam, you'll notice that now the scythe has kind of disappeared from our upgrade section. Once you get the scythe to a +5, that is where, once you get a weapon, any weapon, to a +5, any normal weapon, that's where it starts to branch. If you recall, the weapon chart I showed earlier, once you get to +5, you have a lot of branching points. I could make this scythe into a fire scythe, or a lightning scythe, or I could just make it a normal +6, or divine, or occult, etc., etc. I can branch it off into a lot of different directions. Magic, enchanted, blah, blah, blah.
Well, hello again. You seem to be doing all right. Need anything forged?
So if I go to modify, in order to make it a +6, I would... Since we're at the branching point at a +5, now you have to modify your equipment in order to get it onto the path. But once you've modified it, and it's on that path, you can start upgrading it normally. So, a +6 is going to increase its scaling just a little bit better. It's going to increase its base damage just a little bit more. It's going to put it down the normal scaling path. And you can just keep upgrading it like normal. +7, +8. The other choice that Andre currently has is to make it raw. Now, if you were to make it raw, that lowers the scaling significantly. It removes a lot of the scaling, not completely for every weapon, but it does give it a lot more base damage. This is really good if you're just going for, like, a low-level playthrough. You want to use a raw weapon. Or if you're going to put a lot of points into health or endurance and stuff like that because you want those stats rather than the scaling stats, raw's going to be better. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and get a +6 real quick. And you'll notice it's disappeared again. Once again, I can make it raw. And it'll go back into the regular reinforcement screen if you want to increase it further. And that's how basic reinforcing. So we're going to get this to a +7, which is quite a bit good.
This is the old church. It was abandoned in favor of the church that you passed through. There are paths leading from here to two forbidden plains, Sen's Fortress and the Darkroot Garden. They attract all sorts of lunatics, no one as cultured as yourself. It's fine to be undead, but keep a level head, eh?
So Andre, being the nice fella that he is, he doesn't really care that we're undead. He still calls us a cultured and sophisticated person because we come talk to him, have conversations, and let him pound on weapons with a hammer. He also gives us some basic information. The building we're currently in used to be the mainstay church of the area, which is why it has multiple layers like this, and it has this big open area underground. This was likely...
Oi, where are you off to?
Oh, shut up. This down here was likely some important place of worship at some point in time, but over years and the Titanite demon being here has knocked out some of the support columns and dilapidated the walls. So... This used to be a church probably hundreds of years ago, many decades ago at the very least.
Well, hello. You need it.
You can... Oh yeah, always remember to repair your equipment, by the way, if you're playing Dark Souls 1, you kind of need to now and again. So, I want to go ahead and buy the Crest of Artorias while we're here, before I forget. Hell, I might as well get the Armor Smith box, too. That way I can reinforce my armors whenever I want to.
Sen's Fortress is an old proving grounds built by the ancient gods. It is the only route leading to the great Anor Londo. Of course, most fools can't even find their way into that fortified death trap. But they won't stop trying. Take that bumbling Saranyan.
Ah, yes. So, that gives us the basic idea of who Siegmeyer might have talked to in order to figure out that Sen's Fortress is the path to Anor Londo. Andre here seems to be relatively personable, and he'll probably tell you anything about it, and he also gives you the warning that, hey, Sen's Fortress is kind of trapped. He calls it a death trap. He calls it a test to get to Anor Londo, so a basic little bit of lore behind it.
I know little of the Darkroot Garden, although I've heard rumors of a divine blacksmith who resides there. Those who get stumped in the catacombs seek him for divine weapons.
Okay, this is actually really important. He gives you some pretty good information there. So, he tells you rumors of a divine blacksmith. And he says those who get stumped in the catacombs go seeking him. That's because divine weapons will kill skeletons dead for reals. They do a little bit of bonus damage to creatures like skeletons, and on top of that, even if there's a necromancer nearby, the skeletons will stay dead if you kill them with a divine weapon. So, in Darkroot Garden, there is most certainly a divine ember, and we'll be getting that soon.
I know little of the Darkroot
Alright.
Garden.
Well, it sounds like he's done with his dialogue. His new dialogue, that is. So that's nice. After a little while, Andre will tell you a bit about the surrounding area, just like that. So he told us about Sen's Fortress and Darkroot Garden, at least the very basics of it. Oh yeah, and here you can see a basic little altar kind of area, or at least a podium that a preacher might have stood at one point in time before all these piles of bricks came down. Poor bricks. So, a lot of people, back when Dark Souls 1 first came out, they didn't really talk to people nearly as much. They didn't read item descriptions nearly as often as we might nowadays, now that we have an idea of how Dark Souls works. And they probably missed a bunch of these conversations and a lot of the important information that you can get out of them. The warnings for the future areas, etc. By the way, if you're using the Great Scythe, the two-handed running attack is very fast and very good. As you can see, does nice damage. Has a little bit of sweeping. Bitch, please. It's a really good attack if you're using the Scythe. So yeah, oh, the leggings, not bad. And the shield again. So I have every piece of the boulder set except for the weapon, I think. I have the armor, right? Right? Oh, yeah, I got 2 pairs of the armor. As you can see, the boulder armor for your character is much worse than theirs. Your cape is all tattered and ripped up. The bottom part of it is much more tattered than theirs are. You look like shit compared to them. Which is kind of why I don't like wearing it that much, but I like the Elite Knight set. Medium roll, whatever, we're fine. So yeah, since a lot of people didn't really read item descriptions, there were a lot of points where, like, say for example, they picked up the basement key, right? Open door leading to the lower Undead Burg. Very simple, very nice. It gives you the information there, and it tells you exactly where it is. It's on the passage leading below at the far face of the Great Bridge in the Undead Burg. And it tells you that there are thieves, wild dogs, and the Capradine. It gives you all the information that you could ever want about the lower Undead Burg. But when you don't know to read those descriptions and get that information, a lot of people just kind of, if they got to this point, got stuck on Dark Souls and couldn't figure out exactly what they had to do next and where they had to go. Because, you know, they might have picked up a key, but they didn't read the description to figure out where it went. All they know is they got a key. Have I ever sat here? I don't believe I have. Alright, I believe this guy is keeping me from sitting. This guy back here. This guy right here. Lower your shield, nerd. Ow. Ow. Ow, it hurts. No? Is it the Hellkite Drake? Come on now. It might be the Hellkite Drake. Let's get rid of him. There we go. There we go. Bye, Hellkite Drake. I love going through this place backwards. Oh no. Let's see. Hellkite might activate again soon. Boink. Yeah, I when it comes to the scythe, I swear by two-handing it. It's super good. Super good. So, you might be wondering why I'm going backwards right now. Well, there's reasons for that. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. I won't lead you astray. We've got business back in the Undead Burg to take care of really quick before we go to Darkroot Garden once more. And specifically, we're going to go talk with the undead merchant that resides in Undead Burg again. Because he's got a couple things I'd like to purchase off of him. I did, after all, farm up a bunch of souls, not for levels, but for lore purposes and items. Still pondering what upgrade path to take. The normal upgrade path is never bad. It'll always work well for you. Darn, I'm too far away. If you're looking for some early game power, the fire path, once you hit level 5, is very strong early on, but the lightning path goes a little bit better than the fire path, because in this game, lightning does a base higher damage than fire. Mostly because of lore reasons, because Gwyn and stuff. But yeah, lightning is rather good, but you can't get that till Anor Londo. Personally, I just go with the normal path for now, and if that happens to be what you like, stick with it. And if not, you can try something else. Here's the thing, the upgrade paths themselves aren't super different from each other. All of them don't do much else other than increase your base damage and change what the weapon scales with a little bit. So, lightning, fire, the basic elements don't scale with anything. I believe that divinity scales a little bit with faith. Enhance and magic scale with your int. And everything else just scales with your base stats, strength, and or dex. Wow, that was a fast jump there, Mr. Hollow. Fuck you. Kill all of you. Come to harvest your souls. How did that miss? Whatever. One thing I do like about the scythe is I can still kick. Get shit out of the way, boy. Get that shit out of here, boy. Alright, we've made our way back to the Undead Merchant. Yeah, we took the long way, but don't worry about it. Everybody likes taking the long way now and again. So let's go ahead and speak with him.
Oh, there you are. Still keeping your marbles all together? Then go ahead, don't be a nitwit. Never hurts to splurge when your days are numbered.
Oh, his voice. Hey, Tasselhoff, what's up, dude? How you doing? Welcome back. So, very interesting points about this guy. Very, very interesting points about this guy. This merchant is the only merchant in the base Dark Souls game outside the DLC that sells Lord Talismans. He is the only one that sells the Lloyd's Talismans, which is kind of crazy. We're going to get this bottomless box so I can manage my inventory a little bit. As for his other stuff, he gives you... This is all the base equipment that your starting classes can have. Dagger, short sword, scimitar, rapier, etc., etc. Maybe a couple things beyond what your starting classes have. I don't think I have one of these. Nope. Do now. Hey, MXW1998. What's up, dude? Man. How many do I need? I need, like, I don't know, 60 or something. Let's just get 100. F it. So, if you're gonna buy arrows, I don't use bolts very often. Most crossbows kind of suck in Dark Souls 1, except maybe, like, the Avalon. If you're gonna get arrows, large arrows and wooden arrows both fly very short distances, even though wood arrows are super cheap, but they're for close range. Large arrows are a little more expensive. They do a little bit more damage, but they don't go as far. Standard arrows are very nice. They're very good. On top of that, I think probably the reinforced club just to have. I kind of like the reinforced club. It's a very good weapon because it has bleed. If you look in the bottom left, auxiliary effects, it has that little 300 next to that icon. That is bleed. So it can cause stuff to bleed. It's literally a club with fucking nails out the end of it. It's like a baseball bat with barbed wire wrapped around it and nails put in it. So, very simple. Not very elegant. And, yeah, we're gonna get the chain set just to have. Just to have. Whoops. I didn't want 2 of those. Well. Let's talk to him again.
My wares? Of course they're stolen. What did you think? And when you lose your head, I'll sell it all again.
Well, aren't you a charming guy? I like how he absolutely doesn't try to hide it. Nah, I stole all this shit. Everything is stolen. I'll steal your stuff too if you die.
Oh, this one.
This one.
Ain't she lovely? Her name is Yulia. She's plumb in love with me. You'd never leave my side now, would you, Yulia?
So, Yulia, some people think is the barrel. But if you take a look at his animation before breaking the barrel, I kind of broke it already. Sorry, guys. I love breaking that barrel. He's petting above the barrel. So, if anything, it might just be like his imaginary pet cat or whatever. Or, There's another theory that down in the lower Undead Burg, that corpse that I ripped those two twin humanities off is Yulia. And Yulia was once this guy's lover or wife, either one, and the reason she dropped a twin humanity was that she was pregnant, and that's part of the reason why this guy has hollowed out to such a point, and why he's just a little bit insane, because his lover died.
Oh, you can forget it. I'm all that she needs. Careful! She'll bite your little fingers off. Be kind, Yulia, be kind.
Yeah, he's just a little bit off his rocker.
Here, I'm not here to chit-chat. We talk business, or we talk nothing at all.
Business? Hey, what's up, White Rose Hunter? Welcome back. You know what, let's get like 6 of these for the sake of having them. Why not? I got money to spare. Money to spare. I don't need repair powder. Repair powder's garbage. Simply, it's just repair your weapons, but you should never have a weapon break unless you forget to repair it at a bonfire.
Throw me a bone, will you? You haven't got much time anyway. Right, Yulia?
Nerd, I just bought so much of your shit.
Oh, you... I hope you've brought...
Got anything else to say? Yeah, I didn't think so.
Cheap bastard. Right, Yulia?
Well, I've pretty much exhausted all dialogue that this guy has now. And one thing he does have is a very unique weapon for this point in time if you kill him. So, oh, I'm sorry, sir. I messed up. Hold on, let me just stand you up. There you go. He pulls it out if you touch him at all.
Ow.
And he'll act like a normal merchant if you just kick him.
I'm not...
Do absolutely nothing.
What a waste of time. Go and fall off a cliff.
So this weapon is, as you can see, superior Nippon steel. It is the Uchigatana. If anyone's played any of the other Souls games, you know the Uchigatana's pretty freaking good. And in this game as well, it's pretty freaking good. Anyone that played Demon Souls knows that, like, probably the most powerful weapon in the game is their variants of the Uchigatana. Or a similar variant of it. So, I'm gonna murder him and take his Uchigatana, because, you know, I just feel like it.
You've gone mad, have you?
I'll go ahead and let him attack me a bit.
You lousy rat. Yulia! Yulia!
So, when he says Yulia, Yulia like that, that kind of makes you think it might be the sword. I'm gonna punch you. Maybe it's the katana. That is Yulia. Kick you, too. Kick you, nerd. Punched. He's not really going to show off much of this moveset, so...
Little Yulia.
Oh. And he's dead. He will always drop a humanity, the Orange Guidance Soapstone. If you didn't buy it from him, he will always drop the Resonance Key. The Soapstone and the Resonance Key are dropped because of the fact that those are key items, in a way. Or at least the Orange Guidance Soapstone is a very player-centric heavy thing, and he's the only one that sells it. And the Resonance Key is the only way to get Griggs at all, so... makes sense he dropped those. And he drops a humanity because he's a human. So, let's grab the Uchigatana. Let us take a look at superior Nippon steel folded over 1,000 times. Katana forged in an eastern land, known for its brisk slashing motions. The Uchigatana cuts beautifully and causes bleeding, but its blade is easily nicked. So, cuts beautifully and causes bleeding. Yes, the Japanese are very much in love with their katanas. The R2 is a nice thrust. Very deliberate, very purposeful attack animations on the Uchigatana. They're all very good. Slashes are overall very good. No horizontal slash, unfortunately. But it does have a thrust available to you in one-handed, so it's kind of usually best to one-hand this weapon. Yep. It's a pretty good weapon. It's actually one of the better weapons you can get early game if you just want to kill that guy. Obviously, I'm going to be sticking with my scythe for the time being. Because, you know, this scythe is, like, way better. But yeah, with that, our business in the area is complete. I just wanted to murder that guy really badly. And there's one more thing I'd like to do before we get on over to Darkroot Garden. Anyway, I'll give you, like, some basic backstory behind katanas. Katanas are actually shitty weapons. They are some of the worst swords that have ever been made in history, and the reason isn't because, like, the Japanese don't know how to make swords. They actually made pretty good swords for what was available to them. The problem is that the iron that was available in Japan is really terrible quality. So they did the best with what they had, and they created okay weapons and okay armors for what they had, but fact of the matter is they had to fold iron over 1,000 times in order to even get anything out of the pig iron that is available. So in all actuality, a katana would be like one of the worst weapons you could go with against heavily armored enemies like you find in Dark Souls. There's Solaire. He's still standing here staring at the sun. By now he must be blind. I mean, Solaire's been staring at that sun for like days, weeks, millennia, centuries. No Hellkite Drake. Aww. I wanted him to come. It's probably because I sat there. Hold on. I think I can get the Hellkite Drake back if I just come sit at this bonfire real quick. When dinosaurs were created, Solaire was already praising the sun. Standing there and staring at it. Like a magnificent father. Yes. Yes. Hello, Hellkite Drake, where are you? Sir? Sir? Whatever, I guess he doesn't want to show up. Oh well, whatever. We don't need no Hellkite Drake. All I was going to do was cut off his tail, show off the Drake's sword a little bit. That can be done at any time. Hellkite will be back. Hellkite will be back at some point in time. Well, you should be scared of me. I'm going to cut his freaking tail off. So yeah, I really like... The two-handed running attack on the scythe is fantastic. It's so fast. It has very few frames. You recover from it very quickly. And it has a nice horizontal sweep to it. I really suggest using the two-handed running attack with the scythe on a playthrough if you want to use the scythe. Look at that shit. Hell, it can even be dead angled in PvP. Hello, sir. Goodbye, sir. Owie. Let's stop messing up the parry, shall I? Whoop. Goodbye. I like parrying that guy. I don't know why. He's my favorite one to parry. Probably because he's a jerk. Ah, that one's got a delay on it. I really am not a fan of the parry/backstab animations that the scythe has. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think that you can shove the scythe through someone like that. It seems impossible. Like, super impossible. Owie. Don't hit me like that. Lug. Oh, we're gonna backstab this guy. Oh, no, we're not gonna backstab this guy. He sidestepped. We're nerd. Oh, well. So now we're gonna head over towards the Darkroot Garden, because we have some unfinished business there. I'd like to go finish it. Ting. Ting. I happen to have a lot of extra souls right now, so what I'm going to do is first I'm going to go to the bottomless box and I'm going to throw a bunch of stuff in there. Any copies of stuff. Which I've got a lot of copies of things. All unique so far. Get that out. Yeah, I got a few crossbows. And a couple of hollow soldier shields. Just a couple. I have 2 freaking Black Knight shields. That annoys me. Okay, nice. Oops. And on top of that, let's get you over there. Let's see. I'll have some extra stuff in here, like hollow stuff. Anything is possible if you force it hard enough. I mean... No, not really. You can't shove a scythe in someone's back like that. Jesus, look at all the hollow soldier armors. And waistcloths. So yeah, the Boulder Gauntlets is the most common drop of from the Boulder Knights. Alright, there we go. Oh wait, you know, I should actually level up a bit. So, I kind of want to wear some heavier armor, so the best thing to do is to throw points in Endurance, because it increases your equip load by a good bit. 20 Endurance is pretty nice. Endurance is one of the best stats in Dark Souls 1, because it increases your equip load, and it increases your stamina bar. Both very important things. Wow, still too heavy. Let's get this dumb helmet off, then. Let's put something else that's dumb on. Still a medium roll. Even with the Havel ring. Wow. Oh well. We're done with Andre. Let's head to the Darkroot Garden. Put even lighter shit on. Hold on. Yeah, I can't really take much off on this. Or this. I've got some pretty light armor on already. The only things that aren't light are the weapons and this. The Elite Knight armor is 11 weight. It's got great stats and it looks nice. It's very fashionable, which is why I like it so much. But I suppose we'll just put the chain armor on. Chain armor's not bad either. This is what the Crestfallen Knight is wearing back at Firelink Shrine. Their best time to cap certain stats? Not really. I mean, once again, Dark Souls has a soft cap at 40, which is where you're about going to want to put any of your stats to 40 and not necessarily higher unless you're going for specific builds. Ow. But as for timing for getting them, I mean, get them whenever you want. You can get them as early as you want to grind, or as late as you feel necessary. If you don't feel like grinding, you think you're going through the game at a nice pace, just stick with whatever stats you got at the time. Gotta love the chain armor, because it rattles, just like you're wearing actual chainmail. I've worn chainmail, and that shit clinks all the time. Oh, really? You're gonna... Alright, fine. There we go. So, before we do anything, we're going to head into the inner sanctum of Darkroot Garden. This is why we got the Crest of Artorias. Which, let's take a look at it. Opens a door in the Darkroot Garden sealed by ancient magic. The door leads to the grave of Sir Artorias the Abysswalker. Many adventurers have left for the great, but none have returned. For they make easy prey for local bandits. With such dangers, the crest can do more harm than good in the hands of the uninitiated. Hey, Lavabeard, what's up, dude? So yeah, the crest opens the door, and it also tells you, basically, that, hey, there's going to be some bandits and stuff to attack you. This is a very big PvP area in Dark Souls. Even today, this is probably the main PvP area that I can think of. And that's specifically because of the Cat Covenant. Ow. Ow. Whoops. I had a tree behind me. Silly me. So, there's one of those bandits I was talking about. Come here, Miss Knight. This is actually a female knight, by the way. You take a look at this knight in the cheat engine or the model viewer. It uses a female body, and she's very tough. She is legitimately strong, as you can see. But if you can parry, a pretty easy way to deal with her. And you'll notice she's kind of faded and very difficult to see. Well, that's because of a certain item that several of the mercenaries in the area tend to wear. And we'll learn a little bit more about that very shortly, but first, we're going to come over here and we're going to get these guys off our backs. The easiest way to do that is to come over here and talk.
Is it not so that thou art new? Thou fared well to find me. But cometh thee not for the grave of Sir Artorius? My advice true. Forget this. The legend of Artorius art none but a fabrication. Traversing the dark? 'Tis but a fairy tale. Have thine own respect. Go not yonder knocking for nothing, I say.
And I believe I'm supposed to say yes here. I forget, but basically she tells you the basics of, hey, Artorius totally couldn't walk through the abyss. It's just a fairy tale. He was just a knight that served Gwyn. Don't go looking for his grave. It's forbidden. So I believe I want to say yes.
Well, indeed, thou art a strange one. Nevertheless, I feel some liking for thee. I'm Alvina of the Darkroot Wood. I command a clan of hunters who track down defilers of the forest graves. What dost thou say? Wilt thou not join us? Oh, yes.
Oh,
I believe
yes.
to thee well.
Yeah, sure.
I am very glad. And now thou art one of us. Let us establish a covenant.
Yep.
And here taketh this ring.
Cat Covenant ring.
If thou wearest that ring, it allows for thine summoning. If mine senses reveal intruders, then I will summon thee. Fend them off, sir. I beseech only this. I shall summon others who will, by their honor, work tirelessly with thee. Thou shalt receive great reward.
Great reward.
And whatsoever ye shall pillage will be thine own. A true agreement, not so? But thou must heed the golden rule. The clan is thine own family. To thine kinsman forever stay true.
I already killed one of them, I'm sorry.
Not in any attempt to double-cross. Have no doubt, such wretchedness never will we tolerate.
So, that's actually very important dialogue. So this is Alvina. She is the only other character other than Andre in the entire game that moves their mouth when talking. And she is quite literally the fat cat of the area. Ha ha. Her speech patterns denote that she's kind of old. She speaks in, you know, that old English tongue, saying thine and thee, I beseech thee, etc. And because of that, that's kind of supposed to give you the air that she's been around for quite some time. And truth is that she definitely has. On top of that, she is one of the very few characters in the entire game that is quite literally immortal. You cannot kill Alvina. If you try to attack her, she will literally laugh at you, say you've made a mistake, and disappear. You can get her back, I believe, even if you attack her, if you go and request for Oswald to forgive you, the guy that serves Velka up in the gargoyle area. On top of that, she gives you some information. First off, let's take a look at that Cat Covenant ring. Ring granted to those bound by the Forest Hunter Covenant to answer Alvina's summoning. The white cat Alvina speaks a human tongue and has lived since the early age of fire. Alvina was a trusted friend of Knight Artorias and the great wolf Sif. So this tells you about Sif, who we haven't heard of at all until now, and a little bit more about Artorias. On top of that, it does say that, yes, Alvina is quite old. So, if you wear this, you'll get summoned into this area if people are walking through here human. This is a PvP covenant specifically. This is a big PvP area because it's a nice wide open area, and the only thing to really get annoyed by are some trees. So it's a very good area to have PvP in the first place. And the level restrictions are a little bit more lenient when it comes to this covenant. On top of that, you do get rewards for successful Cat Covenant invasions and killing off people. She'll give you rewards from a table that gets slightly better over time, and you get to keep humanity that you get from stuff like from winning and stuff like that. The other thing she was talking about is don't ever betray the Covenant because they are now your family. And that falls into a side quest that unfortunately got removed from the game. They didn't finish it all up and everything like that. Either that or they just didn't decide to keep it in. And we'll talk about that very shortly because there is going to be a new NPC for us to speak to soon.
Ah, thou dost cometh.
I do
How
cometh.
fares ye? My hopes for thee are of the highest. Do not such a hope shatter with foul disproportion.
I am online, Lavabeard.
Ah, my hope.
So yeah, if you just talk to her, she's going to repeat that line for the time being, and she's always letting off this, like, when you speak to her, this kind of guttural cat sound, because she's still a cat, which I kind of like, that she does that.
Thou dost cometh. How fares ye? My hopes for thee are of the highest. Do not such a hope shatter with foul disproportion.
I've always enjoyed that she has those cat noises in the back, because it's like it's almost like, since she can speak a human tongue, but she can't stop speaking like a cat at the same time, which is kind of cute. If you join another covenant, does it count as a betrayal? No, actually, you can swap covenants on the fly, and it won't count as a betrayal, but it will if you have gained any footing in the covenant. Let's say you've leveled up a covenant to level 3, and then you join another covenant. That will count as a strike against your previous level in it. And when if you go to rejoin the previous covenant you left, you'll be down at least 1 level, maybe 2. I forget exactly how that works in Dark Souls 1. But other than that, it does not count as a sin, and you can rejoin at any time without having to request absolution. If you look, they've got a nice little bandit here. He's got the base bandit gear with an axe and the spider shield. There was the Nidus over there, but we kind of riposted her to death. And there's several, looks like for now we've got several sorcerers. This guy's a priest. Or this girl is a priest, actually. This is a female. You can tell pretty easily if you look at her face. She has distinct female features. Doesn't look like a horrible person. But anyway, joining the Cat Covenant causes this gentleman to suddenly appear.
I've heard all about you. I'm Shiva of the East, captain of the brigade. Let's teach you the clan basics now, as there's no time to chat in the midst of fighting. Except there is little in the form of rules, you hear. Fight and hunt as you like. Whoever's fastest gets the prey. That's the way we do it. Only, don't forget what Alvina said. Traitors aren't given a second chance, for any reason. That's about it then. Don't worry. It's a good old time, isn't it? Great to have you with us. Good hunting to you.
So this is Shiva of the East. He has a very unique armor set compared to a lot of other stuff available in the game. Let's take a quick peek at it. So the helmet that he wears, this Eastern helmet, is based off of real designs that you can find in Asian armor settings. He's kind of got this big lion pauldron over on his side, and that's because the lion was seen as almost a holy beast in several different Asian cultures. It's very nice looking armor, adorned very good. Honestly, it makes it seem like he's a big dick G, a very important person from where he comes from, because of how ornamental the armor is, rather than just how functional it might be. On top of that, he has a unique shield. We'll be able to see it later. And he uses the Murakumo, which is a very large, curved greatsword. He does have an Eastern accent. And by Eastern, I mean an Asian accent that you can definitely distinctly hear. And that's on purpose. And he has a friend, an almost invisible friend. ... So, this is Shiva's bodyguard. He has an Uchigatana of his own, and he wears the shadow set, along with a simple buckler. He doesn't ever say anything in the game at all, and he is specifically there to be Shiva's bodyguard. More proof that Shiva was probably at least nobility, if not royalty, from where he came from, because of the fact that he would even have a bodyguard with him. He also wears a ring which is obscuring the vision on him, which is why you can kind of see through his butt like that. Now, if you could talk to Shiva after speaking to his bodyguard...
Ah, did you notice that one? Sharp eyes? He is one of the clan from the east, like myself. Always slinking in the shadows. But he is a tough one. You'll see what I mean.
So, you'll see what I mean. That's actually just a reference to, hey, if you do some invasions, then, you know, totally, these guys will help you. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But on top of that, Shiva of the East used to have a big side quest in Dark Souls 1. Specifically related to a katana that you can only forge with a boss soul called the Chaos Blade. Part of the reason might be because the Demon Souls equivalent of the Chaos Blade, Hiltless, I think it was called, was super popular and super good, and lore reasons also made it kind of important. So if you forge that in this game, originally, if you talk to Shiva with it, he would kind of betray you and murder you and steal it for himself because, well, he's been looking for a blade so amazing such as that himself. But unfortunately, that side quest did get canned and no longer exists, which is kind of unfortunate because it does take you to the Painted World of Ariamis, is where he would end up in the end for your final showdown with him, where either you would kill him and get the blade back, or he would kill you and keep it. I would have really liked to have seen exactly what they wanted to do with it for the whole thing, but
don't worry.
Unfortunate.
Now. You'll be called in soon enough. Hunters with patience score the best kills.
I think that's everything he'll say for now.
Don't worry.
Yep. So I just kind of wanted to activate him. We'll see him again later in a different place. And for now, we will be done with the Darkroot Garden. As this area is it's a tiny bit tough to do everything in, so we'll come back to it later. Oh, you're not supposed to be here this early in the first place. However, you do have another area of the Darkroot Garden that I began showing off, and unfortunately was rudely interrupted by death and internet troubles. Oh, look, it's these guys. Hi, guys. Hello, bush monsters. Or purple moss clumps. So, as you recall, over here used to be a tree, and then I killed the tree because it was alive. And over here is this very unique enemy that you can only find in certain areas of Darkroot Garden, this being one of them. And I've always liked the look of this thing, probably just because of the colors of it, because it kind of looks like it's poisonous. Unfortunately, it doesn't poison you. I kind of really wish this thing poisoned you when it attacked, or built up toxic or something. It's basically a cross between a manta ray and a frog. It's pretty cool. Pretty neato. Oh yes, if you're a weeb, you definitely want Shiva's body armor and the shadow set and the katanas. That way you can Vohio your way to victory. So, if we come over here, towards this basin of water, more of these things will show up. Oh cool, someone, kindled. And these guys are pretty cool to kill because you can farm green blossoms off of them. And I don't think I've read through the description of green... Hey, you there, sir. I'm trying to look at important things. Anyway, let's take a look at the green blossoms. It's an item for your use bar. Green weed shaped like a flower. A uniquely bitter, biting herb is sometimes harvested in large quantities, but normally it's an annual plant. It's very simple. You shove it in your mouth, and it gives you bonus stamina regen, like the Grass Crest Shield. It also stacks with the Grass Crest Shield. So it's very, very common for people to have a lot of those. So, Proud Knight over here, and I think that's everything that we can do here. This particular spot. I don't think any of this is an illusory wall. But I'm just going to double check. Alright, we're good. There we go. Use the Shadow Set and the Katana Wakaze combo weapon in DS3. So Vohio. The Shadow Set is actually very, very good. The reason it's so good is because it's very lightweight and actually gives you some decent armor values for how light it is. The Wakazashi? Is that what you mean, Lava Beard? Come on, man. Learn how to weeb. You gotta be able to read basic Japanese. Especially if it's out in Romaji. Hello, Mr. Knight. Once you can lock onto this guy is when you can start attacking. Oh cool, we two-shot him now. Nice. These big stone golems. You don't speak Japanese. Right here's a bush monster. He's gonna stand up when I come over here. This is where we got the Elite Knight set, by the way. Oh, come on. They have so many iframes when they come out of the ground. Ah! Ow. That hurt. Yeah, these guys actually have relatively fast attacks. Despite how large they are. They move pretty quick. The most dangerous thing about the stone golems, though, and we've been here before, but the most dangerous thing about them is most definitely the curse they can put on you. That thing. Maybe I should just let the next one curse me. Just to show it off. There we go, we'll get this guy up. Stand up, sir. Alright. Oh, there's the curse. So if that happens, I can't run. I can't roll. It's like I'm super heavily encumbered. It does have a range to it, though. But as you can see, if he moves quickly like that, you can't really get away from him. And that turns him into a pretty dangerous enemy because of how much damage he can do. But I can do damage as well. These guys are too big to be backstabbed, so that's kind of a waste of time, and you can't parry them either, unfortunately. Do I usually use the Wolf Ring when doing a dex build? Not really. Okay, let's see. So let's see. There's other unique enemies here in this area of Darkroot Garden that I'd like to show off. And one of them will be right around this corner. But there's an ambush. Oh no, a single bush monster. Whatever will I do? So scary. Oh cool, more moss clumps. So this might just look like a tree, but I really like this enemy, and I wish they did it a little bit more. Stuff like this. If you look very carefully, there is a creature camouflaging itself against the tree, and kind of also clipping into the tree. Don't look at it clipping into the tree. They don't want you to look at that. But you can see it's kind of got two heads. They're both split off into snake heads, and has a very lizard body. And this is a pretty cool trap, so when we go to pick this up... Oh, we get attacked. Ow. And they do build up actual bleed. And there's not a lot of these enemies in the area at all. Not a lot of these enemies in the area at all. They're super rare. That's kind of one thing I like about Darkroot Garden, is it has a couple of very unique enemies in that you can take a look at and be cool with. Take that wall. The stone golems, they do drop something. I will show it right now. They drop the stone greatsword. Stone knights who guard the Darkroot Garden wield this moss-covered greatsword. The same magic which created the stone knights is imbued in the sword. Unleash the power by wielding the sword with 2 hands. Unfortunately, I don't have anywhere near the strength to use this. Takes 40 strength to use in 1 hand, which means that I would need at least about 25 to 30 strength to use it right now in 2 hands. So once again, you can find this enemy over here, another one of those weird lizards. Wasn't he here for a reason? I'm almost positive he was here for a reason, but I can't remember. I can't remember where the pathway is. There's a pathway to a ring. Thought it was behind that tree, to be honest, but oh well. I can always come back later. I can always come back later. Because, yeah, as you can see, there is an area you can walk on up there. Right up there. I don't believe that this leads to it. Am I gonna kill the butterfly? I mean, yeah. We're gonna kill every boss eventually. But first, I kind of want to be human for now. Because this particular boss you can summon in help for. Let's go ahead and become a human. Probably should have done that before I went through the area. Oh well. It's fine. Really gonna follow me all this way, guys? I mean, come on now. These guys have a lot of range because their arms are all stretchy. What are the pros of being a human? Well, we're about to see one just a second. The biggest pro of being a human is that you can summon in assistance from NPCs. On top of that, it allows you to do any PvP content at all. You have to be a human in order to do PvP content. Stand up, sir. I'm going to murder you. Oh, he's dead. So, right over here, in the corner, hidden back into here, is a summon sign for Witch Beatrice. This is another NPC that used to have a side quest for you, and used to go through, has gone through different iterations of how her appearance was, but kind of, unfortunately, instead fell wayside to being a 2-time summon, I believe. You can only summon her in for 2 fights, this being one of them. So, Witch Beatrice is, as her name implies, a witch. I think originally she was supposed to be a child, but I I don't believe they added that function into Dark Souls at all, into the engine, for children to exist. So they made her into a more kind of stereotypical looking witch. She was originally supposed to have a bigger hat too, kind of like Logan. Anyway, she has a kind of unique catalyst for now. We haven't seen a catalyst that looks like that. If we take a look at our catalyst, it's way different. Our catalyst is just a stick, whereas hers is kind of a lot more ornate and unique towards the end, kind of gnarled and stuff. Anyway, she's super useful for this fight because she has magic, and the Moonlight Butterfly very much does not like to get down into melee range. Do you have to summon her first here to get her summon sign outside Four Kings? No. You can get her at Four Kings even if you don't summon her here. Wonder if I can Fire Orb this guy. Let's wait for him. He'll come in from over there. As you can see, he was kind of up there on the wall. Yeah, I can Fire Orb you, bitch. That's a dangerous attack. You want to dodge that one. It does quite a bit of magic damage. So yeah, as you can see, Witch Beatrice is super helpful to have. She even has good magic. Look at that. That is crystal. That is homing soul mass, not crystal. Oh, cool. Oh, it's dead. Good job, Beatrice. She wrecks this fight, by the way. She absolutely demolishes this fight. Thanks, girl. And she gives you a humanity if you summon her in for a successful fight. You can summon her at Four Kings? Yes, you can. Beatrice is... That's the other fight you can summon Beatrice at, is for Four Kings. So, if you don't have Beatrice with you and don't have any ranged attacks or fire bombs or anything like that, eventually the Moonlight Butterfly will land over around this area on the bridge where you can melee him for a bit, and he will charge up a very big, very long charged, very big explosion. And that's the melee way to fight him, but I decided, hey, let's show off Witch Beatrice. Not a lot of people see her because her summon sign is very hidden, and she's only summonable for 2 fights in the entire game. And besides, we're doing all lore. Originally, Beatrice was supposed to have a side quest. I kind of, unfortunately, I forget what her side quest was supposed to be because she got toned down to very little now. I think she was supposed to be somewhat like Griggs and be searching for Logan. And as you can see, this area we have Andre. Look, it's Andre again. This is literally Andre, and this is all of Andre's setup. They copy-pasted his stuff and then just kind of threw his stuff around. And this is the divine blacksmith that he was talking about. And if you take a very close look at him, it is Andre. It is just Andre's model with a stone texture over it, holding an item. He kind of looks like he's down in prayer, or at least sheltering the item that he's holding, and that is because it is the Watchtower basement key, and, more importantly, the Divine Ember. Oh, and a Homeward Bone. I forgot about the Homeward Bone. And if you look, this is absolutely everything that you see around Andre's area. This is what he has. This is his table with all the same stuff on it. These are the shields and weapons that are behind him. The anvil even has the exact same sword on it, the same stump that he sits on. And this little bucket here, which once again has nothing in it, telling me that, and once again has the problem of doing things that FromSoft doesn't want you to see. Don't look at it, guys. FromSoft hates when you look at stuff like this. Don't do it, everybody. Oh, no. Oh, look at it. Oh, there goes the waterfall of tools. And it's still... Some say it is still sliding to this day. And it is. Look at that. You can't blame them for bleeding? Yes, I can. I'm not going to blame them for being lazy, but I'm going to point it out. I'm going to make you look at it. Alright, so let's take a look at the stuff we've got. So let's see, the Watchtower basement key. Opens the basement of the Watchtower in Undead Burg. The basement of the Watchtower forms a stone cell. There are rumors of a hero turned hollow who was locked away by a dear friend. For his own good, of course. So this is how you get into Havel's room if you don't have the master key, is you have to get this key up here. That's the only way into Havel's area if you don't have the master's key already. And we've already went and dealt with Havel. We haven't talked about why he's there yet, because we're waiting till we get to Anor Londo before that. On top of that, we got the Divine Ember. Ember for Blacksmith Weapon Ascension. Divine Embers are property of the Church, and intended for Divine Blacksmiths. Ascends +5 standard weapon into a Divine Weapon, which can be reinforced +5 using green Titanite, I believe. Wait, no, white Titanite. Green is for fire and stuff. My bad. Divine weapons are for undead hunting. Use against undead in the ponds of necromancers. So again, it very much tells you about exactly what this is for. The divine weapons are the only weapon in the game that do anything, the only ascension that you have that does anything other than just damage increase, which kind of makes them unique. Unfortunately, it took until Dark Souls 3 before they tried anything different with what kind of weapons they could have that have a secondary effect that's not just damage. And they did it with Frostbite, which is not bad. Frostbite's okay. If you've never seen what Frostbite does, it lowers your stamina recovery and I believe slows you just a little bit, which is neat. I kind of wish they had done that earlier in the Souls series. Oh well. So that's the Divine Blacksmith that Andre was talking about. I mean, I can see why he calls him divine. He calls him divine because it's just him. It's just him from another world. And I do believe that's everything that we can do in the area for the time being. Unless I suddenly remember where the hell that area is that we can run through. But I can't, because I'm a dummy. Oh, more things FromSoft never wants you to look at. Don't look off cliff edges and look at, like, low-quality trees and stuff. Like these trees that look so very two-dimensional. Don't look at it. FromSoft hates when you look at stuff like that. It makes them feel uneasy. It makes them shift in their seats. That's why I do it all the time. It makes me feel good. As for why that blacksmith is stoned... stoned. I believe the implication is that the Moonlight Butterfly turned him to stone, because the butterfly is literally hanging out in that area. Okay, I remember nothing about this game. It's hanging out in the area right where the blacksmith is, and I believe the implication is that the butterfly came over and cursed the blacksmith to turn him to stone. The reason for that is that the butterflies themselves, we even got the soul of it. We'll take a quick peek at it. I believe it should give me the information I'm about to talk about. Yeah. Soul of the mystical Moonlight Butterfly, which flitters in the Darkroot Garden. Special beings have special souls. The butterfly soul is a creation of Seath the Scaleless. Used to acquire a huge amount of souls or to create a unique weapon. So the butterfly comes from Seath. I mean, it literally says it's a creation of Seath. And Seath is doing horrible science. Horrible science off in the Duke's archives. And specifically in the Crystal Caverns, the butterflies seem to be some weird amalgamation of Seath's scientific curiosity and some local fauna that lives there. Probably some smaller butterflies or something like that. And that's why the butterfly itself attacks with magic, is probably because Seath has involvement in it, and Seath is the father of modern magic in Dark Souls 1. Most magics, sorceries at least, specifically come from Seath. And Seath is the one that was teaching people how to use sorceries and whatnot. And that's why the Vinheim School is known as the Dragon School, and they have big fat boners for dragons because of Seath. Large soul of a nameless soldier. So yeah, what I was looking for was the pathway to that item, which is an important ring. Lore-wise, I forget exactly how the hell to get there. Oh, I should have let him grab me just to show it. I really forget how to get there. Sorry, guys. We'll get there eventually, though. I'll look it up some other time. We got more stuff to do in Darkroot Garden later. Hug me. Hug me. You're not gonna hit me. Hug me. There we go. Oh, yeah. Give it to me. Oh, baby. So, that is the grab attack of the bush monsters. Past the red frog thing. I know it's past the red frog thing. I just forget where. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Yes, that is the wolf ring. Anyway, we'll be back here later anyway. We got more shit to do in the area. Ow. So yeah, I really like the grab attack of the bush monsters because they are literally just covered in thorns and they hug you. Anywho, with that, we are, for the time being, we're pretty much done hanging out in Darkroot Garden. I've done what I came here for. Specifically, I just want to activate Shiva of the East and kill the Moonlight Butterfly.
My, that's a rare ember you have there.
It is.
I've seen one of those before. It's the ember of a divine blacksmith.
It is.
Might you consider leaving that with me? I could produce divine weapons with a flame such as that.
No.
I see. 'Tis a pity.
'Tis a pity.
I'll be seeing you then.
So, if you remember what I mentioned when I first came here about Andre, I mentioned he does not have any fire to superheat his metal, so it can become malleable enough for this pounding against it to do anything other than injure the blade. So these embers, as they are called, are, as you can see, it's like a little stone square that's housing the ember inside of it. And most embers are going to look very much like that. We also gave him a large ember earlier, but I didn't really go over that. These are actually what he's using to heat his weapons and in order to make them actually malleable and workable. However, once again, he does not have a bucket of water. This is an empty fucking bucket. And because he doesn't have a bucket of water, he can't supercool it and make it keep its shape. So he doesn't know how to blacksmith.
My, I could...
Here you go, Andre.
Well, thanks for that. You've made a fine decision. You soon shall see.
Apparently Andre is suddenly divine.